That's probably because everybody hates you. No, of course I'm kidding, Lenny. Look at you. You're adorable and everybody obviously loves you. It's actually very common. A ton of people do not get many comments on their Instagram, and there's a few core reasons why, and that's what we're gonna cover in this video actually, so you're in luck. So stop stressing, get your notebook out, start taking notes, and let's get you more comments on your Instagram posts. Let's go. Alexa, stop. Thanks. Good morning, Vietnam.
Good morning, Vietnam!
What's going on, guys? Welcome to the video. We're gonna do today's video a little differently. I'm gonna bring you along with my day as we go through dropping these Instagram knowledge bombs on ya. So this actually perfectly segues into the first tip, and that's be vulnerable, be a person, be authentic, whatever word you want to attach to it. Essentially just show people that you are relatable or that they can actually interact with you and you're not some untouchable being. That's super important whether you're a business or a personal brand, because without vulnerability, you can't develop a relationship. So by showing that you're a real person, that's going to dramatically increase the likelihood that your followers are going to feel comfortable to actually interact and engage with you, because you're not intimidating. You're not too scary to talk to. So this is actually a perfect example of being vulnerable. The fact that I woke up and you can see I got my Goku hair going on. That shows that I'm just a dude and people can talk to me. So think about different ways that you can incorporate that into your content strategy. Again, whether you're a business or a personal brand. Town, she follows me around. All right, so we're at the gym now. Got my mask on, ready to go get jacked. But on the drive over here, I got to thinking I should provide some examples as to how specifically you can go about being real, vulnerable, or authentic on Instagram to get more comments. So if you're a personal brand, it's super easy. Just share stories highlighting parts of your day or things that you go through that are highly relatable, that a lot of other people would go through or your followers would likely go through. Just show them that you are a human, that you go through similar things to them. It's gonna make them far more comfortable to actually interact with you via your content, via DMs, via replying to your stories, all that good stuff. Just show that you're a person. Think about how you become comfortable with any human being and try to incorporate that on social. If you're a brand or you're a niche page, a great way to go about doing that is by leveraging comedy or like memes, things associated with your niche that show your personality, your humor, and your approach to things. So think about how you can incorporate that into your regular content strategy. And then on stories, how can you do that in real time? How can you get people engaged? A great way to do that is sharing your opinion on current things that are going on within your niche or your perspective on things. Just show that you do have a personality, you have things that go on within your niche and within your day, and just share that however possible. So those are some examples as to how you can be real, personal, and authentic on IG. And speaking of vulnerable, look at this zit right here. I'm rocking it loud and proud. Let's drop a like on this video for that big zit right there. Thank you. All right, all done in the gym, got my sweat on. And so to elaborate on what I was previously saying, a lot of people try to separate social media from real life, and I want as many people as possible to think about it a lot more like real life. Think about it like real people. The biggest thing that you can do is make social media social, and you will win. So in building off what I just previously said about the point of being vulnerable, think about any time that you got close with someone really quickly. Why was that? It's because they opened up themselves and gave you the opportunity to open up to them. So think about that and get into that mind frame of making social media a lot more like a human-to-human interaction, and you'll find success. And that leads into the next point, but we'll talk about that when we get home. I'll see you there. Peace. Power. All right, so we're all showered up now. I no longer smell. We are just doing some work here, and I'm enjoying a nice beverage, a flavored water. It's not LaCroix or LaCroix or whatever, but I'm too cheap for that. I got the no-name stuff. But the next tip for getting more comments on your Instagram is the previous one I mentioned, relationships, and how your content and what you post out there can be the olive branch to get that relationship started. The second tip would actually be the person who proactively makes the relationship happen. So when someone follows you, it may not be a bad idea to make a common practice of actually DMing them and starting the relationship off that way. Another thing to do is actually give them ample opportunity to develop a relationship in a invasive way. People will very often respond to a story if you put a poll or something out there. So don't just leave it as a reply, actually make it a two-sided conversation and reply to their answer to that poll. That is gonna actually be the thing that starts the conversation and gets it going. It allows them to be far more comfortable to get involved in all conversations moving forward in your future content. So be the person who starts the conversation. It can go a long way. Plus, those little things, those little DMs of sending them to people, they don't get them from any other people. They don't get them from any other businesses, brands, anything of the sort. So you can really stand out from your competition by starting that relationship off, because it is so rare. So start the conversation, start the relationship. So you guys all saw Lenny in the intro. This is Lenny the lizard, the bearded dragon. You saw him in the intro when he was complaining about the lack of comments that he received. He definitely helped intro to this video. So I figured I'd give you a formal introduction to Lenny. This is Lenny the lizard. He doesn't currently have an Instagram page, but he's pretty dope. He may deserve one. So Lenny, all the beautiful people out there on YouTube, beautiful people, Lenny. Cool. And this really should go without saying, but if someone DMs you, you always want to make sure to, at the very least, reply. But that's the bare minimum. How you can take it to the next level is actually make it so the conversation can actually happen. So don't just make it a dead end. Yeah, you replied, okay, it's done. Make it known and shown that you're willing to have a conversation. They're gonna get a conversation going. People are actually very respectful of your time. So if you just show even a little bit that you're willing to give it, they're gonna continue that conversation long into the future on all of your content. So make it really a two-way piece of communication, not just a one DM, I replied, okay, we're done. This is gonna be a relationship, it's gonna be ongoing, and it's gonna be a lot more beneficial for you. I normally just walk the same path every day, but since I'm filming, I figured I'd try to find a cool little spot to sit and talk about the next tip. So wish me luck. It's kind of creepy in here. Log acquired. It's a pretty sweet log. So the next tip is the perfect spot to talk about it, and that is to write easy to respond to call to action. So for in any caption, I'm sure you've heard this tip before, is leave them with something that you want them to do next. If it is comment on your post, you want to make it as easy as possible for them to do that. A way that people go wrong is that either they don't include a call to action whatsoever. So if you have their attention, you always want to direct them to what you want them to do next. And if the goal is a comment, make that obvious, but also make that as easy as possible. A lot of people that I see on Instagram, they make their CTA'S for comments, again, CTA, call to action, way too difficult or way too long and thought out for people to respond, but that really depends on the relationship you have with your audience. If you make it a very difficult thing to reply to, it's going to take thought, time, and effort, then only your core people are going to respond. But if you make it as simple, as hard-hitting as possible, and very quick and easy to do, that's going to increase the likelihood of people responding, especially if you do it in a fun and light way. So say something as simple as, okay, you're a food blogger and you're on food Instagram and you just posted a burger. You could say like, what is your favorite condiment? That is a super easy thing to respond to versus say if you post a burger and you're like, what's your favorite meal? I guess that's a bad example because it's not too much more difficult, but I think you understand what I'm saying. You want to make it as easy as possible because you're just going to increase the percentage of people that actually act on it. So write your captions with CTA'S for comments and make those CTA'S as simple and as easy to do as possible. It's going to increase the amount of people that actually do it. Tip 4 can build off the previous one. So since I said that if you made a very long and thought out CTA that only your core people would respond, and I'm sure some people hearing that would be like, oh, well, I don't have any core people. I don't have any loyal followers or fans. So how do you go about developing those? That's actually the next tip, and it's treat every person you come across like they're your #1 fan. For a lot of people, it's not gonna result in them being your #1 fan, but by approaching every single fan and follower, especially when you're small, with that same level of care, personalization, and attention that you would your most loyal fan, it's gonna increase the amount of people that do become that, and then those are gonna be your core people that comment on everything regardless of what you do, and that's going to result in more comments moving forward because no one wants to be the first to comment on anything. No one wants to be the first to do anything in general. So by building this relationship with your core people and building that core audience by treating them like your #1 fan, they're gonna be there all the time commenting. And as soon as people come across your stuff who maybe don't comment it all the time, they see there's already comments there, it's far less intimidating to join the group than it is to be the first one to do it. So it's very important to find your core people, and the best way to do that is treat every person you come across like they already are your #1 fan, and some of those will become very loyal fans that are early commenters, early engagers on all of your stuff, that helps get all the momentum going to allow you to attract more like-minded people. So develop your core audience and do that by treating every person like they already are your #1 fan. Yeah. Did I get ya? No, probably not, but I tried. For any of you that may be coming across your first video of mine right here, what we do on this channel is I'm basically your resident social media nerd. So I help you best leverage social media best as possible to enhance your message, your presence, and your business online. And my core elements or core channels would definitely be Instagram and YouTube. So if your goals are to grow on that platform or podcasting or anything else really social media related, be sure to subscribe. And if you're taking some value from this video, you think it's gonna help you get more comments, which it will if you do these things, please show some love to me and do like my shirt says, drop the video a like. I will love you forever, and you'll get 10 years of good luck just for doing it. So it's pretty much a no-brainer. Get on that, I thank you in advance. And then let's get to the final tip. Just in case any of you were worried for my safety, I did make it out of the dark forest, the deep forest, and I'm back on the trail, so we're safe. All right, we're back from the walk. I got a little sweatier than anticipated, so I changed my tarp into this beautiful jersey right here. Go Ravens. So the next tip is really more of a conceptual thing that you have to understand. And again, we're gonna go outside of social media to help you better understand and better leverage social media and really human psychology on social media, as ultimately that's who's interacting with you and that's what dictates how social media works. So in general, what makes a comment section a bumping comment section or a very lively one? It's when discussion happens. So it gets people talking. It's a human being talking to another human being, and typically tons of stuff and tons of people mixed in between. So on a fundamental level, what gets people talking the absolute most? It is controversial and polarizing topics and people. So if you're able to incorporate that stuff into your content, it is going to lead organically to conversation, which is a ton more comments on your content. It's important to understand what comes along with that. If you pick a side on a controversial or polarizing topic, understand that it definitely has the potential to alienate you from other people, but if it's very tightly aligned with your brand and your beliefs, it'll also deeply strengthen the relationship that you do have with the people who resonate with you. And again, if that's associated with your brand, that's actually who you're targeting. So by aligning with them and speaking on that controversial issue and aligning with their beliefs, they're going to connect with you far deeper. Another option is to simply be a facilitator, so not declaring an opinion either way, but just simply voicing and creating a discussion thread via your content. That's another way to get people going. But again, understand that people on these subjects are going to be very deeply rooted in their opinion, and oftentimes in today's day and age, people get very easily offended. So understand that that could happen on your content, but by creating this kind of board or discussion opportunity, people are gonna take advantage of it. And to provide a human example of what being polarizing really means, look no further than the President of the United States. So say what you want about Donald Trump. This is definitely not a political video. This will never be about politics. It is just something you cannot dispute, that people are always talking about Donald Trump, and he is incredibly polarizing. Love him or hate him, people are always talking about him, and they're always talking about his content, and his vehicle of choice or weapon of choice, depending on your views, is Twitter. People are always talking about his latest tweet because it's always controversial and it's always polarizing. So I'm not saying that go to the extremes that Trump does, but that should be a great example that you can look to understand what I mean and what really gets people talking. This is stuff that I study all the time, what resonates with people and what motivates action. The more that you can do that on social media, and the more that you can align this specifically to who you're targeting and what aligns with your brand, you're gonna create the most amount of discussion on your content. That's the most amount of comments, that's the most amount of engagement, shares, etc. It all stems from polarizing content and controversial content potentially, or one of the two, or a combination of both. So that's a topic that's very, very critical to understand if you want a bumping comment section. So I just noticed Lenny's in the back there. What up, Lenny, as we're talking about some heavy controversial things. Lenny's just chilling. So I'm not saying go be controversial for controversial sake. I'm not saying go piss any people off. Just understand the power that being polarizing and controversial and or really has and how much it sparks conversation. And so take this and go look across Instagrams and you're gonna see a common thing. The accounts that really have popping comment sections, it's typically for those two reasons. The subject matter is controversial or polarizing. So see how you can incorporate that specific to you and your brand in a way that doesn't harm you, but understand the power and impact that it has and use that lens while consuming social media and understanding at a deeper level why that's all happening. If you're looking for some more help with Instagram, I just linked my 2020 hashtag research guide, which will help you crush it using hashtags on Instagram. And if you're looking for some more general growth hacks, I just linked another video that will be a ton of help for you as well. Lenny and I thank you so much for watching this video. We can't wait to see you in the next one. Go crush it, go get more comments, and I'll talk to you soon. Peace.